It's the 10-cent, 25-cent table. Here we go. He snap called that, so I might have been able to get more. What did he have? He did have these. I didn't want to get greedy though. I thought he might have a 7. If not, I probably would have jammed. Because when you play, people are willing to, some people anyways, play by pot odds. So the ones that do, you could give them terrible pot odds. And then they have to make foolish calls. I try to give people very bad pot odds. Very bad. So it's not mathematically right for them to call. But they still call all the time. But I get unlucky all the time. Nice bet. Well, how much will that leave me? That'll leave me 1,300 chips. What are the blinds? The blinds are 120. 1,300, so that'll leave me 10 blinds. I think I got it. I'm willing to play from a short stack. If I have about 10 blinds left, I could fight back in it, usually. Sometimes anyways. Especially early in the tournament. I did take that chance. I was at a final table. There was 1,467 players. It was a play money tournament, mind you, but it was still the last 40 players. It was really, really good poker because it took about 4 hours, so everybody was pretty serious about it. And so there was a lot of good folds, a lot of good bluffs. Really solid play. But anyways, I had a straight, and I had 700,000 chips. We started out with 5,000, so I got up to about 700,000 chips. I was at the final table. There might have been 6 players left or 7 players left, something like that. And I called an all-in with a straight, suspecting that he had the full house. I was kind of sure that he did, but I didn't want to be muscled out of a good hand either. So I had about 100,000 chips left over if I was wrong, and it turned out I was wrong that time. He did have the full house, and so I should have listened to my instinct and fold. I folded that tournament. I folded 2 straights previously, and I was right both times. And one I had say a jack high straight, but I put the guy on the jack queen straight. He had 2 cards. I put him on the exact 2 cards that he had, and I don't know if he would have busted me or just crippled me at that point. I forget, but it was a solid play, and I called it on video too. I called the hand before I seen it. I'm trying to do that so I could get sponsorships and endorsements and donations. Basically, my PayPal email address is christianerikarnemeyer@gmail.com. So I'm currently 7th out of 42 remaining. 88 entries, 10,476 average stack, and 183.38 going to first. So I just thought to myself how most tournaments I usually end up near the chip leader pretty quick, like within the first half hour, and but I don't usually maintain it. If I become the chip leader within the first half hour in a bounty tournament, usually I get lots of bounties, but most of the time I don't even make the money. I almost peak too soon, so I'll make quite a bit in bounties, but I'll get sometimes, like the most I've ever got was 25 bounties in a tournament. So I'm pretty good at getting bounties, especially once I get on a roll. Because once I have the chips, I'm willing to call with mediocre hands, knowing I'm calling from behind, from an underdog position. So I'm willing to sacrifice, say, right now I'd sacrifice 5K if it was a bounty tournament. Easily. Sacrifice 5K. That would still leave me 11K. So I could rebound the blinds for 150. So if a guy jammed with 5K, I'd put him on a hand like ace king or aces, but I would call with the 10 jack in this case, even though I know I'm an underdog, because I could get the bounty, and it's worth the risk for me, even though mathematically I'm likely to lose, but you do get lucky. So if I have lots of chips, I'm going to be taking lots of chances, so I'm going to be getting lucky lots and losing lots. Don't get me wrong, like if I'm willing to risk that 5K, then that means sometimes I lose it. So I either lose the 5K or win the 5K. I entered into 3 tournaments today, and I don't think I'm going to receive fair luck at any of them. So far, this one I'm receiving pretty good luck. But when you register in tournaments, people try to subconsciously register you in this hidden subliminal system to negate your luck. There was this real money website that I used to play on until it uninstalled itself off my phone. And so this real money website, I was ranked as professional 4 times. I forget the point I was going to make. They hacked my brain there, so I forgot. So it was a real money website. And what did they do? I'll recall later. But I heard a click in my ear, and it's 1:26 Eastern Standard Time, June 10th, 2024. So somebody hijacked my body at that point and made me forget. And in the future, I'll be able to find out who it is and bring them to justice. Kings, brutal. Queen, nice. See, some days you're lucky. The general rule of thumb is when you're playing in a tournament, stay away from the guy with lots of chips. Stay away from him. See, if this was a bounty tournament, I would easily call the 4,200 because I could get the bounty and it's a decent enough hand. But I'd easily call, but since there's no bounty, it's not worth it for me. Because he likely has a good hand. That was the first time he made that move. So when people make moves for the first time, be suspicious if they change their pattern. Like Bullman right here, if he's always betting 300, then all of a sudden he's betting 750, be a little suspicious of it. If you got a good hand, just proceed with caution. But if you don't have a good hand, pull the parachute, get out of the hand basically. You just got to look for patterns in their game and then exploit them. At the same time, now if they change their pattern and you think they're making a move, then you would want to raise them or go all in at that point. The best defense against, it's the riskiest, but the best defense against a bluff isn't to raise, it's to go all in. Because you can't re-raise an all in. You can't outplay an all in, so it kind of ends the hand right there, or you get called and lose. So it's risky. But if you think somebody's betting, I wouldn't suggest it if you got 1,000 chips and the guy has 20,000. I wouldn't suggest it because you're likely to get a bad call, a weak call, because you can't really hurt him. So if he has a draw or if he has something mediocre, he's likely to call. Whereas somebody, if you put pressure on them where they're now all in, or you significantly damage them, then at that point it becomes a solid play. But use it with caution. Like, try it out and see how frequently it works for you. Because with poker, it's all about timing. There's some days where every single bluff you make goes through. Then there's other days where you can't get a single bluff through. So you got to roll with the punches. Boo. Gonna take a little nibble. Obviously I can't win since I got called. So am I currently 5th out of 943 remaining. There was 95 entries, 10,681 average stack, and 191.48 going to first. So there's no bounties. So this is a top-heavy tournament. So the line share goes to first place, which is nice. He's gonna hit it. He didn't. Nice. I didn't get a bounty, but I did hopefully eliminate a player from the tournament. There's one less person stopping me from victory, basically. Because sometimes those little stacks, they grind their way back in, and then they could become contenders. Good luck me. I'm unlikely gonna win a second one. I didn't lose anyways, so that's good. Very rarely do you, well, sometimes you win 2 hands in a row, but almost never do you win 3 hands in a row. So if this hand right here, if I would have got pocket aces, I might have folded. Well, I wouldn't have folded because nobody raised, but I would have approached it with caution. I would assume that I'm going to get outdrawn because it's so unlikely to win 3 legitimate hands in a row. Maybe if you earned a couple hands, then you can, but based on luck, it's probably very, very low statistically. It's bound to happen to somebody to kind of defy what I'm saying, but realistically, it doesn't happen too often. So if you see a guy going in, winning several hands in a row, you have to assume one of them, he probably bluffed you. The most I've ever won in a row in a real money, at a real money table, was 12 hands in a row in a tournament. I was just dominating them, and on the last hand, the 12th hand or 13th hand, I forget exactly what it was, but I got pocket aces, and I'm like, come on guys, I can't have the best hand every hand, and I got several callers, and I won. It was awesome. That was 10 years ago now, at least. So I'm going to be able to go back in history there and find out who was cheating me then, because I came first out of 8,000 back then. I won. It was a play money tournament. I won $32, and then I played probably 100,000 hands off that $32 of real money hands at the penny table and stuff like that. Just tournaments, sit and go tournaments. I could almost guaranteed finish in the money in a 9-player tournament. I'd podium finish 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, almost guaranteed. Then they got rid of them. So, like, I haven't checked recently. They're not fun to me anymore, but because it's not worth it to spend an hour to try to win $3 or $6 when you could sit down at the cash table and make that in 1 minute. So it's not worth it. But then I stopped playing poker for years, because I can make something like $7 an hour playing poker at that point in time, guaranteed. And then I stopped playing for about 10 years. Then COVID happened. I needed a hobby, so it was poker. I found poker again. I played put $100 on or something like that, and within a week I won a tournament, a $1 tournament. I won 378 American or something like that. But I didn't play in like 10 years, and within a week I won a tournament out of 1,500 players, and I thought to myself, wow, this was almost too easy. And then I told the counselor about it, because while I'm advocating for this petition, they're saying that I'm schizophrenic, but people who listen have voices in their head, or it's basically somebody behind a computer, and I don't have voices in my head, but I was communicating with people once I figured out that they were listening to my thoughts. But now they don't communicate with me. I just I could feel their presence, and I read their psyche, because computer-assisted telepathy is possible. So schizophrenia is basically a man-made mental illness. Those people are usually smart, and intellectual property is usually stolen from them. But there's exceptions to the rule. Maybe some aren't smart, but almost certainly all are being violated. So anyways, I told this counselor that I won money on poker, and in my mind I was thinking it was going to happen consistently. So I was like, well, how do I claim this money every month? And then now I've never won a big tournament over 1,000 players since I mentioned that to him. The Ontario government changed the rules, so now I'm not able to compete against the world. So I could only play in small tournaments. So when I do win, I only win a couple $100, not thousands of dollars. That could change my life. Because if I win thousands of dollars, I could start investing. I have innovations, and I could develop myself, and I could also advertise for my petition. So they're trying to restrict me from advertising the petition to stop me from becoming poker famous. I tried with Sudoku, but the world first place prize is only $10,000, so it's not even worth it. But I developed a strategy for Sudoku. It's a game that's been around for hundreds of years. I had a strategy where I could break it down into 50-50, and then the artificial intelligence system found a counter strategy to my strategy, which was foolproof until I posted it online. Every single Sudoku puzzle, even the hardest ones, I would beat within 15 minutes with this new strategy. And then, so I likely would have been the best in the world at it. And then I posted this online, and then they have a strategy. So now instead of 50-50, most Sudoku puzzles I play now require 3 chances instead of 2 chances. So instead of like in this scenario with the flop, so with my 50-50 strategy, I might have had it knowing that 3-4 was likely there, but now I have to consider it's the 3-4-9 there throughout the whole pattern. So they figured out a weakness to my formula, basically. So if I download any Sudoku app, they know who I am through electronic violations, basically, and every single Sudoku puzzle is going to be that I play. Maybe not the easy ones. If I go to, say, easy, medium, but once I get up into expert or hard or the most difficult ones, guaranteed, almost everyone's going to be mitigate my strategy. I was in this game called Math Blasters. I was first in the world for a couple hours. You would have to do arithmetic, and I forget the numbers, but near the end of it, like I can make it so it'd be something like 28 times 42, and then it would fall down the screen like about that fast, and I would have to figure it out in my head. So I was the first in the world at that, and most likely artificial intelligence beat me. I was offered in grade 2 to do math for half the day in school. Grade 6 math. They wanted me to do, in grade 2, they wanted me to do grade 6 math for half the day. And they should have made my parents make this decision for me, basically. But I forget how old I was. I was probably like 6 or whatever. And but I didn't want to be away from my friends. So I kind of altered my trajectory in life. Basically, instead of being a physicist or something in math, then, poker kind of facilitates my math hunger, basically, and same with stocks would. Anything with numbers. So anyways, in grade 2, they wanted me to do math for half the day. And then I was 13. I did an IQ test. I scored off the charts for pattern recognition. So it makes me ideal for poker, stocks, innovating. I have the perfect skill set for that. So they steal intellectual property off me. And they're mitigating how well I do in poker. Most of the professionals cheat off me. Do I get unlucky with the club? Nice. And that was awesome. I made the move. I assumed I was ahead, but I didn't want the call. Because I lose so often when I have them in that situation. So that should have put me to first place. Oh no, 6th. I don't think it updated yet. Maybe it is 6th. 49. And I have 44. So there's some big stacks. Somebody big's I'm either gonna move to a big table or somebody big's gonna come here because I could pretty much pressure anybody now. One guy has 24K, so if I lost to him, I would still have 20K. So I could potentially bluff 20K and not even sweat it. So usually when I'm in this situation, they move me to a new table, or they'll put somebody big right here that has more chips than me to my left to mitigate how many hands I win. Because I should be able to go on a tear now and win a bunch of hands. So I'll probably start losing hands because they're most likely to start cheating since I'm calling my shots here. I think it's more impressive when somebody calls their shots. I grew up in a small town where when you played 8-ball billiards, you had to call your last shot. You had to say where the 8-ball was going to go in the corner pocket. You couldn't just hit in any pocket because you could have got lucky. It takes skill to say, hey, I'm going to put it in the corner pocket, the side pocket. So it's more impressive. So I admire people that don't cheat, that call their shots and back it up. With the brainwave cap, so being able to make sure nobody's listening to my thoughts, playing against somebody they couldn't remember any of my previous history from watching me, stalking me basically electronically, but I'd play any player in the world heads up in poker. I'm not confident. I'm dominant at heads up. I practice it a lot, so when I'm in a tournament and I make it heads up, I have an experience edge over my opponent. And not only, I'd love to play the pros in $1 million heads up tournament because I would have a good chance of winning. And if I won, I would now have a good idea how each of these pros played from our heads up experience, unless it was a fast game. If it was a fast match, then I wouldn't really learn much. But if it was a prolonged match, I'm going to learn how they play different scenarios and then be able to use that against them consistently in the future, unless they go against their grain, unless they go against their instinct. Because I sit down at every table knowing very little. No, I know nothing about my opponents. I assume I have zero previous playing experience with them, and I assume that some of them have knowledge about me. because I post these videos, so theoretically some people could have watched the videos on YouTube and then see and sit down at the same table as me. But the poker software site kind of routes you to who you sit down with, so it would be suspicious. So I'm going to proceed with caution here. Hopefully it doesn't have tens. So I dropped him pretty good, I thought there. I was worried that he flopped the straight. That's why I was playing it slow on the flop. Because it felt like I could have possibly jammed all in on the flop and got him to call based on his bet, the time of his bet, and how little he played previously. Our past experience. But when you're playing, sometimes it's like you're just trying to get them to bite the hook. So the next street, you could reel them in. Usually. When I bluff, that's usually how I play a strong hand. Normally, say 80-90% of the time, normally I have the hand that I'm pretending to have, and I'm trapping you and trying to, but when I bluff, that time I just happen not to be. And it's not on, oh, okay, so I'm currently first out of 46 remaining. 111 entries. Okay, late registration in 21 seconds. So theoretically, that one of the guys I knocked out could have rejoined and potentially could beat me. That's the only thing about late registration is people could, even me, I didn't start this tournament at the beginning. I joined late, and I'm the chip leader. So sometimes it works out for you, and other times it doesn't. Hopefully he bets so I could fold, because I'm gonna jam. I'm only gonna jam. I'm trying to win the $1,000 or the 1,000 chips. It's unlikely I'm gonna get the 4K, but I'm probably gonna get this guy to fold his 2K, so I should be able to win the 1K. So it worked out. So I won the 1K as planned. And that's just understanding poker psychology, just all the hands that I played and understanding dynamics, what I would do in likely situations, what good players do in likely situations. Some of my moves don't work. Like if I'm at the dollar tournament table, some moves don't work against those players, where I have moves that work when I'm at the $100 table. Because the better you are, the more likely you are to fold strong hands when you need to, when you feel the instinct to. You have to be able to, because you're most likely to be beat by these strong hands. You don't lose big pots usually with 7 deuce, but you lose huge pots with aces. So you have to be able to fold these big hands. So he hit his 3-outer against me, but I had enough chips that it didn't even dent me, so I don't mind that time. But historically, I lose that way too often. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of pressure here. Oh, hopefully it doesn't have the 9. He's probably going to jam. No, he's not. So I'm going to jam. I might lose. But it's only 4K. Yeah, I was in $200 tournaments yesterday, and I knew I wasn't going to be allowed to do well, because the day before I did well in a $30 tournament and a $50 tournament. I finished in the final table in the $50 tournament and deep in the $30 tournament. So historically on PokerStars, I very rarely am I allowed to win 2 days in a row. Very rarely. Only once do I recall where I won a $2 tournament one day, and then I won a $3 tournament the next day. That's it. But whenever I jump up in tournaments, my luck is diminished. So I'm on fire. Just say I win a $3 tournament, I might win $90 or whatever the prize might be, a couple $100, an insignificant amount of money anyways. So I'll jump in a $30 tournament or a $50 tournament, and I'm still on fire. I'm playing lights out, but then I get unlucky every single time. Every single time. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. When you're on fire, you should be on fire for days, weeks, months, even years on end. I've been on a 2-year unlucky streak. Guaranteed. And it may improve going forward in the future, because I'm posting these videos kind of calling them out on it. So my luck may improve, but historically it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, I don't play hands based on the strength of my hand. I play cards based on any 2 cards. Reading situations, that's my game. I don't play it on future luck. I play it on current results in pot odds, math, and psychology. That's my game. Because usually I lose with ace-jack. So it's not reliable to me. If I had real luck, big strong hands would be reliable to me. I'd look at it as consistent money, but it's rigged for me, so it's not consistent money. It's a consistent loss. All you have to do is watch any of my videos. Pick any random video of mine, watch it the whole duration, and you're gonna see I consistently outplay my opponents and lose a very big pot at the end if I get busted. If not, if I don't get busted, then you might not see that, but you'll see me lose very big pots to strong hands. I'll have pocket kings, and I'll lose. I'll put them in a bad situation. They'll call with Jack 7 or some terrible hand, and they'll get lucky. Any random video of mine. On any random, I played on real money on several websites, 2 websites. So any random video on either website, you're going to see a consistent pattern. I played on this one play money website that had webcams, and within the first 1,000 hands, I built up to 5 million, and then I sat down at a $5 million table or whatever, play money, and I got up to like something like 440 million. It was getting boring. I was like, at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to $1 billion. I'm gonna earn $1 billion chips. But then it was getting boring. It was taking it was like 3 hours or something like that, where I was just dominating them, but they kept getting greedy. One guy got up to like 178 million, but then instead of walking away, he kept on playing, and then I took him for it all. But then, so I noticed my winning percentage, this is 6-handed, so the odds of winning are something like 16.4 or something like that, ballpark. And my winning percentage was 31%. Then I noticed it, and within the next 200 hands, so I played 1,000 hands at this point on the site. Then within the next 200 hands, my winning percentage dropped 9%. Once I noticed it. It's because these electronic violators, hijackers of mine, seen, because they could see what I see with eye cameras that I have against my will. They see what I see. So once I seen that 31%, it choked somebody's feelings, and then they rigged it so I lose. It's a play money website. But in the future, I'm going to sue that website for punitive damages for taking away my personal experience. It makes you angry. It frustrates you. It's supposed to be fun. So punitively, I'm going to sue. On a real money website, that one where I was ranked professional 4 times, my winning, it was 5-handed, so the winning luck is 20%, 1 in 5. My winning percentage after 8,000 hands was 32%. And I noticed, and I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get it up to 40%. I thought that. I cashed out 100 American or something like that. From $1, it turned $1 into over something like $150. Then I cashed out $100 just to see if it was a legitimate website. And so I cashed it out. And then the next 20,000 hands that I played, even though I'm getting better each time I play, each session, my winning percentage went down from 32% to 27.5%. And even though I'm a better player, so the artificial intelligence system gets better every day, so it knows my patterns, and the website was routing cheats to the table that I was sitting at, and so they were allowing them to cheat me. Like I went on, like I have it on video too, so I'm gonna be able to sue that company as well. But I lost something like, I won 12 flips out of probably 50 something. After a while, it's like I'm so overdue to win. I just lost 6 in a row, so I'm all in with my kings, and then I would lose for like $6. I must have lost $50 that day. Just getting unlucky. Just the complete rig. And it's all to stop me from being able to get this petition known that computer-assisted telepathy is possible, and they puppeteer people to do crimes, and then they violate their life experience. And it's usually people that are sexually attractive, that are marks, people that have something that other people want. They don't usually do it to undesirable people that aren't talented, fat, over whatever, ugly. They don't typically do it to them. It's usually beautiful people. Here, I'll just show you okay, so this is me at 19. So I was life raped there. They violated me sexually. I was offered a model and tryout in New York City, but I was a little too muscular, and they wanted me to lose weight, and I wasn't gonna jump through hoops and sacrifice my body for modeling, so I didn't. This is me in my 30s. So, been life raped many times. There's another picture of me. And this is a picture of me as a baby. So people have been raping me ever since I've been that baby. Because I've been that cute my entire life. So these electronic pedophiles have been raping me ever since I've been a baby. So since I'm an attractive male, there's going to be women that are ugly, that have zero chance of meeting me and us having a relationship. So they sexually violate me every single time I use the washroom or masturbate. I've abstained from sex for, I don't even know the last time I did. It's been at least 5-6 years, even though I've had many partners when I was younger. I never had a problem meeting women, but now I would have a very hard time meeting women because I'm being restricted by the government. I had a phone, I had this proof on video too. I had a phone that Tinder wasn't even eligible on my phone. It wasn't even eligible. It wasn't even an app on my phone. That's how restricted I am. I'm almost certain that in Canada they made the censorship bill to restrict me from being able to advocate the petition, www.change.org/technology. So this is a problem in Canada, but it's also a problem throughout the world. So I was married and my wife is beautiful, and every single time we had sex, people were able to electronically feel me having sex and electronically feel her having sex at the same time. So they raped me, they raped her, and this is at the government level. This is police, politicians, judges, lawyers, doctors, teachers, you name it. This is happening at the highest level. This guy's taking a long time. How many players are left? We must be approaching the money soon. Next prize, 20th, 15, 29. So, since I mentioned it, look how tiny that vein is right there, the middle vein. I'm getting drugged remotely right now because I'm mentioning this. See how tiny that is? I'll show you what my vein normally looks like. This is what my vein normally looks like. So they chemically drug me. It restricts the size of my heart. And they do this to torture me, basically. And they're able to leech off my body's attributes, their parasites. And it all comes to an end one day because this is my DNA. Had my DNA tested after I was at a job, and it was a ship and receiving place, and all the ship and receiving labels had convenient names that were suspicious, but one of them was Worst Evolution. So I got my DNA tested, and it showed up everything that's not white. I have genetic ancestry too. And so I have claims to every single throne on the planet because I have the oldest DNA on the planet. So I'm related to more kings, more emperors, more sultans, more emirs than any other person on the planet. People have been matching my family. This is my parents right here. She was born in the States on a trip, but she's Danish. And he was born in United Kingdom, but moved to Canada. So my parents didn't even live in the same country that but they have common ancestors. So I'm going to post this video on YouTube, and it's unlikely I'm going to get any views, even though it's a quality video. But eventually it's public record. So in the future, once this technology is publicly known, I'm going to have public record of all these crimes. See, if this was a bounty tournament, I would easily call with the King 5 suited here, knowing that I'm an underdog. But I would have a chance of winning, and it would still leave me 64K, and I would have potential to win the bounty and eliminate a competitor. But there's no bounties, so it's not worth it. So there seems to be consistent electronic hijackers that whenever I play poker, I see their psyche, so I'm going to be able to bring them to justice. And once the beauty about my situation is I have this evolutionary DNA gene that's necessary for mankind. And so in order for countries to get it, I'm going to make them become monarchies and a social republic. So you get the collectiveness of communism. So you protect the herd, but then you get the capitalism from democracy. So you allow the strongest horses to win the race, basically. Because in communism, people get lazy. Some guy could be lazy at a job. You can't really get fired. Some guy could be working hard. He can't get promoted. So it's flawed. But at the same time, communism, there's no homelessness in communism. There's homelessness in democracies. So democracies are flawed that way because there's the ultra rich and then the very poor. So social republic is the best of both worlds. You don't quite have the ultra rich. You have less Lamborghinis and yachts, but you have zero homelessness. So instead of, say, having a 110-foot yacht, you might have a 106-foot yacht. But there's nobody begging for food, and people aren't worried about shelter and stuff like that. And energy. Core food, energy, and housing are the main things. And public health care. And private health care for cosmetic and special treatments. Like, I'm in Canada, so if I go to the doctors and I have a suspicious mole, they might not remove it, but I should be able to demand them to remove it and pay a fee privately, just to ease my mind. It's like, I don't like that mole. I'd rather cut it out, and sure, the public healthcare system shouldn't cover that to ease my mind, but the private healthcare system should be able to capitalize on that and to offset some of the private healthcare costs. Anything cosmetic. So hopefully I could go coast to coast. It's hard. I do have a good chance. There's 30 players left. I'm in first, so I might not maintain first position, but I could still win this tournament. I might get dropped down to, say, 10th or so, and then be able to fight back. But I'm going to play it pretty cautiously, because there's no bounties. But all it takes is losing this pot here. I could lose quite a bit. I'm probably not going to chase now, depending on his bet. So it's June 10th. So it feels like 12 degrees Celsius today, and it's June 10th. It should be 25 degrees Celsius. I'm wearing a jacket, a sweater, and I'm chilly. It's because they constricted that vein, and there's a weather machine that controls the weather, basically. You could YouTube Hurricane Dorian's unlikely path, and it's a video where I show how it shows the hurricane devastating some Caribbean countries, and then it's heading directly towards Florida, and then the hurricane curveballs all along the coast instead of going straight as its path was likely to go, as it historically goes. But suspiciously it didn't for Hurricane Dorian. So in the future I'm going to be able to prove that the weather machine was used to divert the pressure system to alter the path of the hurricane. And that being said, it's like, okay, well, if you have the technology, because technology can prevent hurricanes, prevent earthquakes and super volcanoes and things like that, so it should be publicly known. Because if I was a country and I could control the weather, I'd let every other country know that I could control the weather. I can make it cloudy, and then I can make the sun shine in their eyes so they can't see us, but we could see them and shoot them. Or I could send a tsunami to their fleet, their naval fleet. I wouldn't be shy at all. I'd let everybody on the planet know that I had a weather machine. But they secretly work together, so they will never let people know. So all I have to do is just look at my electronic bank statements and find out where I was, in which city I was, and I'm going to be able to see the abnormal pattern for the weather historically for the last 5-6 years. Because I think it was October 18th, or either October 23rd, 2018, or October 18th, 2018. But that was the day that I started seeing things on social media. I'd be thinking things, and then next thing you know, I would see it on social media. I might think rainbow fish, and then would see an ad for rainbow fish. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty suspicious. And then I baited them, and I started thinking about something random, because they were condescending at this point. And so I baited them, and sure enough, I forget what it was, but just say it was albino squirrel. I'm like, albino squirrel. And then next thing you know, in reality, something shows up on my social media saying albino squirrel that I thought. I never told anybody. It was something that I thought to myself. So then I'm like, can you guys hear my thoughts? Because at first, scientifically, if I was to watch somebody long enough, watch them breathe in, breathe out while they're reading, I'm going to be able to pick up the words that they're thinking. Because as they're breathing, you're pronouncing those words with your breath. So if you watch somebody long enough, you're going to know what they're thinking. So I asked them if they could hear my thoughts, and they answered me. They started communicating with me, and at first I was terrified because I had no privacy in my mind, and I had suicidal thoughts, and I was completely afraid, because how can you when your mind's a prison, then how can you escape your mind? So then, needless to say, they've been violating my human experience my entire life. And there's others like me. We're called life marks, including my kids and some of my family members. So it went on for maybe a year or so where they were communicating with me. And then I posted a video online, and I'm like, they're likely to say that I have schizophrenia, like months before they tried diagnosing me with it. And most people don't get schizophrenia in their 40s. It's something that you get in your teenage years. You don't get it in your 40s. So it was just something that they could manufacture and simulate. Here, let's see. I do want to play this hand, then I'll see. Okay, this guy's taking forever. Nice. Early 20s.
According to NAMI, although schizophrenia can occur at any
20s.
age, the average age of onset tends to be in the late teens to the early 20s for men, and the late 20s to early 30s for women.
So
It is uncommon for schizophrenia to be diagnosed in a person younger than 12 or older than 40. It is possible to live well with schizophrenia.
So it's manufactured. Lucille Ball, a famous actress, had dental work done in 1942, and she picked up a radio station that only she could hear in her head. And a few days later, she even picked up some Morse code, and it turned out to help discover a Japanese spy ring in the States. And this was at the height of World War II, so it was no doubt one of the turning points in the war. And so governments have been able to technically listen to your thoughts, at least for the last 82 years. It's 2024. And they've been able to see your thoughts at least since the invention of the television, because our brain waves are measured in hertz, just like a television signal. So a cathode ray tube TV is the same technology that's necessary to be able to tune into somebody's thoughts and see them. So nowadays with computers and artificial intelligence, it just makes it interconnected. Crystal balls and mysticism, there's truth in that, but people are trying to make it, using technology to make it better. Well, crystal balls, they could slightly see glimpses into your thoughts, and you know, it's been around for thousands of years, so there is some truth to it. Like psychics 1,000 years ago were probably more in tune with the Earth's frequencies and magnetic fields than we are in the modern world. We're too distracted. Technology, there's Wi-Fi signals, there's all these signals that are interfering with our natural rhythm. So unfortunately, Bloody Mary, she bathed in the blood of virgins, so there's possibly some truth in that, but at the same time, it would be any blood. It could be chicken blood, it'd still work. It could be any blood. But just only vile creatures would want to bathe in the blood of virgins. Or human blood. Let's see if I could win it. So coincidentally enough, I have numbness in both hands right now, and I talked to a doctor before, and they told me that I should be dead. So they're making covert attempts on my life. But I will survive. I guarantee it today. I won't die today. It's June 10th, 2024. You'll see more videos of me. Here we go. So I'm still in first. There's 29 players left. Can I pull off the victory? So this guy's playing decent. Let's see how he's playing. He's chipping up. I'm gonna call just to try to knock him out and hopefully play a big pot with the 30k guy. But if he jams, I'm folding. I was hoping for a low pocket pair, but didn't get lucky. There's a 3-outer. I never hit them like I shouldn't, but I think I suspect I hit them even less than I'm supposed to. And historically, I'll be able to prove that. So I have a video where it shows me with wrinkles at the beginning of the video, then it gets blotched out, and then you could see me with my wrinkles reduced. So they've been trying to hide that technology. They're aging me intentionally. But let's see if I can find that video.
Destroyed by the ventilation of the shelter here.
So
it's puffiness.
Puffy my
Dude, the system rigging. This is how many napkins the system makes me blow my nose at least a day, and it's mainly just to steal my DNA.
As you can see from the video,
see how it's blotched out.
I don't have wrinkles anymore, and who loses wrinkles? Only the man with evolutionary genes.
So they blotched it out, preventing me from showing proof. So I should be able to find the source file. They didn't want that unequivocal proof. Well, look, this is 4 years ago, it says right now. And my face today, I don't have that puffiness under my eyes because I'm not getting gassed like I was at that shelter. I could show other videos where this is really deep. Then I show other videos where my skin is more like this, where you don't see these deep lines because people want me to have these deep lines. All you have to do is go to that YouTube and just watch all the videos and see how I look different in each one. I have videos where it shows my gray hair disappearing. I have a video that shows where my gray hair was a subliminal face that's used to cause me to age. They put subliminals right on my skin. I have a video that shows the sore that I had on my foot for about 2 months, and when you look at the sore, it looks like a dog. So they used artificial intelligence, and they made it so it was incredibly painful for about 2 months. It hurt incredibly for about 2 months, and then so I have videos of where you could clearly see it looks like a pug, and on my scab looked like a dog. So they used computers to make it so my scab would look like a dog to punish people, to punish me, because of whatever reason people have to try to punish me. Everything contentious in my life was orchestrated by somebody else. Okay, well, I don't really have a draw here, and there's only two, really one out, because if I hit the 4 of hearts, there'd be a 4-card flush, so I'm going to fold. I have video proof of showing a subliminal image that I caught right in the sidewalk, where you could clearly see a face. If you download a ghost meter from the App Store and check any surface in any surface, tables, couches, any floors, there's subliminal metrics around, so you're going to have a different ghost reading. It measures the magnetic field, so even though wood shouldn't have a magnetic field, it slightly does because of the subliminal system to be able to register people, set people up. They have it officially to catch people, but they have criminals secretly setting up these people, and then the police pretending they don't know that the criminals are setting up these people. That's all it is. It's a filthy system. It's just a bunch of powerful pedophiles. They've been raping me since birth. Every newborn baby gets raped, probably. Every single one electronically gets raped by these people. They call it the day-old baby rapist club. So all these pedophiles have to die. Wish that every electronic pedophile dies. $73K, am I still first? Okay. The only thing about first is you can't see who's right behind you unless they're at your table. But it's been pretty non-eventful for a while since I got about 60K or higher. I haven't really been active. I did think I was going to be able to manhandle the table there, but I haven't run. I could still pull off a 40K bet and still have 30K left, so 40K bluff, pardon me. I had the chips that I could put some pressure on people, except for that guy. You got to be, like, this point in the tournament, you got to try to steal blinds from different positions to cover your blinds that round. You always, especially tournaments, but at the cash game, cash table too, you gotta constantly try to steal blinds. You can't do it every round because it becomes obvious, but you do it has to be part of your consciousness to steal blinds. It has to be part of your game. This guy's likely to make a play, so if he raises, maybe not now since this guy called, but if he was to raise a little bit, I'd probably put him all in thinking he's making a play. Nice. Maybe I got a little greedy there. I probably could have got more out, but I didn't want to risk a chance of getting rivered. Because there was a possible straight, so I was risking that, but it was unlikely, an unlikely straight. Because what was it? So 6-8, they could have had 6-8 of spades, which would have been pretty deadly, but people typically don't play that. But it is all right to play occasionally, because when you do, I almost never play odd low suited cards, because when you do hit the flush, you're likely to run into a higher flush. So usually the lowest flush I play is probably a jack high flush. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do play low suited connectors, but when I do, I'm proceeding with caution. It's like ice water. I want to get in and out. So I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have before it cuts out, so this is going to be the last hand of this video, so you'll have to watch the next one. And I don't know what number this is in. Yeah, because there's a couple I got to post. Oh, I thought I had 2 pair. Why did I do that? If it works, it's bonus. Nice. It was kind of a misclick. So let's see. So what video would it be? 87. So this might possibly be 89. If it's 89, then watch MeyerDiggins Poker number 90. Whatever number this video is, watch the next higher number for the finale of the tournament.